So while pretty much everyone is freaking out about the AI-driven software crash, Goldman Sachs quietly put out a list for their top clients, and it's basically a playbook for who's going to win and who's going to lose in this brand new world. We're going to dive into this because the framework they've laid out, it could seriously change how you look at the entire tech industry. First, you just got to wrap your head around the scale of what's happening. In just the last few weeks, almost $1 trillion has been completely wiped from software stocks around the globe. This isn't just some little market dip, you know? This is a massive, seismic shift, a total rethink of who actually has value in tech right now.
And this is the phrase you keep hearing on Wall Street. When a huge bank like UBS calls AI an unresolvable existential threat to software, well, you know the panic is real. The big fear is that AI can now do what tons of software companies charge a fortune for, but for pennies on the dollar.
So how did we get here so fast? I mean, really? Let's trace back how this whole AI panic started and see how just one little announcement sent these massive shockwaves through the market.
It has been an absolute bloodbath for some of the biggest names out there. We're talking huge drops just this year. Salesforce, down 27%. Intuit is down 34%. And Workday has just plunged 30%. Look, these aren't some speculative little startups. These are industry giants, and they're getting hammered.
And the thing that kicked it all off was, well, it was surprisingly specific. On February 3rd, the AI company Anthropic released a legal plugin for its AI, Claude. And all of a sudden, this thing could do tasks that legal software firms were charging thousands for. The reaction? It was instant. Stocks like Thomson Reuters and LegalZoom just tanked. And then the fear started to spread. Investors began asking this terrifying question. Okay, if AI can disrupt legal software overnight, who's next? But, while the rest of the market was running around in chaos, Goldman Sachs was doing what Goldman Sachs does best, looking for the opportunity. They put together a framework to sift through all the wreckage and separate the companies that are going to make it from the ones that aren't.
And here's the real secret, the thing you need to focus on. A list of stocks? That's temporary. It'll be old news by next week. But understanding the framework, the why behind their picks, that is the real key. This is the kind of thinking their big clients pay a fortune for, and it gives you a lens you can use to look at companies for years to come.
So here it is. This is the secret sauce. According to Goldman, the winners, the AI-proof companies, will have at least one of these 5 things going for them. 1, they have some kind of physical execution. Think data centers. 2, they're protected by regulation, which makes them really hard to replace. 3, they're deeply integrated into how a company works. 4, they're in a field, like cybersecurity, that still needs human accountability. And 5, they're a direct beneficiary of AI, meaning the more AI there is, the better their business does. Okay, so with that framework in our back pocket, let's take a look at some of the companies that Goldman thinks are on the right side of this huge AI divide. Let's start with a really complicated one, Google. On one hand, you could see them as a victim, right? Their main search business is definitely under threat. But on the other hand, they own these massive AI-proof assets. Google Cloud provides the actual physical hardware AI runs on. Their Gemini model is a top-tier AI itself, and an asset like YouTube has a library of content that AI just can't replicate. Google has built itself all these different defensive moats. And you see this same pattern over and over with the other winners. Microsoft wins with its Azure cloud and its huge piece of OpenAI. Oracle has basically become the essential plumbing for AI that tons of companies rely on. Palantir is shielded by these deep, sticky government and defense contracts. And CrowdStrike? They're a direct beneficiary. The more complex cyber threats AI creates, the more people need their services. It's a perfect fit.
Now, for every winner, there's got to be a loser. So let's flip the coin and look at the companies that Goldman sees as vulnerable, the ones whose entire business models might be facing a direct existential threat because of AI.
And this, right here, this slide just nails the core difference. The winners are built like fortresses. They're built on physical stuff, regulatory moats, and deep integration that makes them hard to leave. The losers, though, they're built on sand. They mostly just sell simple workflow automation. And here's the brutal truth. If your software's main purpose can be explained in one simple sentence, an AI can probably do it cheaper and faster. This big vulnerability, it actually has a name, and it's the #1 threat for a lot of these software-as-a-service companies or SaaS companies. It's called seat compression. And no, that's not some new fee the airlines came up with. It's the absolute nightmare scenario for any company that charges per user. Salesforce is the absolute poster child for this exact problem.
Their whole incredibly successful business model is built on one very simple idea: charge a company a fee for every single human employee using their platform. That strategy made them a titan, but now it might be their Achilles heel. So this is the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? What happens to Salesforce's revenue when just one AI agent can do the work of 3, or 5, or even 10 salespeople? All of a sudden, the number of seats a company needs to buy just plummets. They are basically selling a product that AI is specifically being designed to make obsolete.
And you see this same weakness everywhere. Intuit's QuickBooks and TurboTax, AI is getting scarily good at automating bookkeeping. Workday's HR software, that's exactly the kind of workflow AI agents are built to take over. DocuSign, Accenture, Monday.com, they all sell services that are basically about automating simple human processes. And it's not that hard for a company to switch to something new.
Okay, so how can you take all this Wall Street thinking and actually apply it to your own investments? Let's boil this whole framework down into a super simple 3-step check you can use on any software company you're looking at.
Here's how you do it. Step 1, find the moats. Does the company have a physical component? Is it locked in by regulation? Is it a huge pain to switch away from it? Step 2, check the business model. Is it just charging per person, making it an expense to be cut, or does it add real measurable value that makes its customers more money? And finally, step 3, assess its AI synergy. Is AI a direct threat to this business, or does more AI in the world actually make this business stronger?
So when you put it all together, what does this framework really tell us? It suggests that the most durable, safest companies in the AI era are the ones providing the basic infrastructure. It's that classic gold rush story, right? You don't bet on the gold miners, you sell the picks and shovels. The companies providing cloud computing, cybersecurity, and data management, they're set up to win no matter which specific AI app strikes it rich.
Ultimately, this is about way more than just a list of stocks to buy or sell. It's a totally new way of thinking about tech investing. This framework gives you a really powerful lens to reevaluate every single software company in your portfolio. So the real question I want to leave you with is this: is your portfolio built to survive and maybe even thrive in this new AI era?